You know this man. He's not just a Super Bowl 35 champion. He's not just the purplest, purple loving, purple drinking, purple wearing, purple man of all time, but he's a well-rounded talk show host over on 105.7 The Fan. You hear him every Saturday. He's our buddy Femi Ayanbadejo, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Femi, what's going on, brother? How are you? Oh, did he freeze? Oh, no. Everything was so well set up, too. There we go. What's up, pal? Oh, you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself, Femi? Man.
There we go.
Oh,
Now
my
we got
guy.
it. All right.
What's up, buddy?
Man, we're rookies over here.
I was about to make.
Acting like rookies.
I normally save all the old jokes for Bruce. I normally use all of those with him. What's going on, pal? How are you?
I'm chilling, man. Doing good, man. The weather today, I don't know what's going on, but
it sucks. It's awful.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah, dreary.
It's funny because I do want to talk some Ravens with you, but you and I had a good back and forth last week about Adley Rutschman, and we ended up having a lot of conversation about this over here, and I am not banging the table and saying the Orioles better trade Adley Rutschman, but I think the conversation is compelling because I think it's a question about how serious they are about fixing this, and I don't know, they've won 3 straight games. That's good. How serious they are about legitimately contending to win a World Series next year, and where Adley Rutschman is as far as his willingness to sign an extension or just go to free agency. And I think there is a scenario where if they're not and he's not, then you do have to think about trading Adley Rutschman at the deadline this year. And it seems like you're definitely thinking about that right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Adley's outstanding. You know, his defensive prowess in regard to block rate, his pop time down to second. His OPS was up over 800 for a long stint there. It's just under it now, but it's 10th in Major League Baseball. He's a great clubhouse guy. Everybody loves him. A switch hitting catcher.
Yep.
You know, you could DH him. He's got so much versatility. He's healthy right now. And I think the question that I was really floating to you, and I can really do this subjective or objectively, because obviously I want the O's to be good and I want them to win. But you know, I grew up a Giants fan. Like that's my baseball team. But I live in Baltimore, so I always want this city and I want the athletes here to thrive. So when I look at building a championship team here, I look at Adley and I think about, well, what's the end game here with him? It makes me a little uncomfortable when you have Sam behind the plate and then he's DHing. You know, that DH role, maybe it'd be better served with a guy like Blaze Alexander, who I absolutely love and think should be playing every single day, should be in the lineup every day, in my opinion. I've been saying this for a long time. I'm just wondering if you have a plunder or an asset-rich position, what does that do to the rest of the roster?
It's interesting.
And you're kind of short, in my opinion, when it comes to starting pitching. And so I am a huge Brandon Young fan. I've been banging that drum since he threw that, you know, what was it, 6 scoreless innings in Chicago in April. I've been on, you know, banging that drum ever since then. I believe he has the psychological makeup to be a number 3 starter in the rotation. I just believe him when he's out there. He's stoic. He commands respect. I love the command that he's shown. I love the splitter that he's been throwing. It's been almost unhittable. You know what I mean? Using the 4-seam fastball with that,
which is crazy. Like the fastball is almost unhittable, despite the fact that it's only like 90. It's 94, right? Like
it's the command and the combination with the splitter and off speed stuff, dude. Like he's keeping him off balance, and he's not predictable at this point. And you know, look at what Boz has been doing lately. Look at what Bradish did last night. Like I'm hoping that Trevor finds his groove again. But when you got those guys doing well, and look, that death ball from Gibson, I'm a fan, dude. If I didn't know it, it's around 87 miles an hour, but it reminds me of Clayton Kershaw's left-handed curveball. That's more of a curveball. I know his pitch is more of a slider, but when you see it and you just look at it, they look very similar. Obviously, there's more velocity on Trey's ball, but the point is that it looks like a left-handed pitch to some degree with the dip on it, the way that it comes straight down. Anyway, what I'm saying is I think this team has a lot of really good assets. And the highs are really high and the lows are really low. Starting pitching is going to be a problem. Defense has improved massively. Playing small ball, hitting with runners in scoring position has been an issue. How do you address one or two of these issues, maybe using Adley as that piece to do that? You know what I mean? And look, once again, these are all open for discussion things. I am not saying that they should do this the same way you're not saying they should do this. Maybe the best decision is to do nothing. I don't know. But then you have a looming lockout potentially, right? You have the contract situation. You have Sam. I'm just looking at it, and you and I were having kind of just a very philosophical discussion
Yep.
about where this team is going and how they get to where they need to get to. And is Adley a piece that you use and dangle to get another pitcher, another field position player? I'm not sure personally, but we're here to have the discussion.
It's interesting the way you're positioning it, Femi, because I would still say that I think the best thing is to try to get an extension done with Adley Rutschman, right? Like if he's willing to, and that's a huge if, because as you know, these guys get this close to free agency, they're inclined to say, yeah, let me negotiate with everybody instead of just negotiating with you. And he's performing well, so it's a good time to be moving towards free agency.
Yeah.
So my gut says if he's open to it, I would still prefer that you talk about an extension, because typically extensions for catchers are not what they are for other guys. You're not talking about $300 million. You're talking about somewhere between $100 and $150 million. They tend to be a bit more friendly. The way that you're discussing it fascinates me, because it would suggest maybe even if he were, you already did the extension with Basayo. You already got that guy. Now you have an asset that you could use to improve the rest of your team. So even if Rutschman was willing to talk about it, you might say, hey, it just might be better for the overall construction of the roster if you tried to, knowing you've got a catcher locked up, that you could try to improve somewhere else on the team to get yourself closer to winning a World Series.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's the strategy that I'm thinking about personally. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Ravens, right? When you have a bunch of DBs, but you don't have a pass rusher, you need the pass rusher, right? And you might have to use one of those asset-rich resources to get that guy. Once again, obviously, we're not talking Ravens right now. I'm just talking philosophically, right? But the point is that it's a roller coaster watching the O's, man. It really is.
Is it? Are you at all concerned about the idea? My gut, Femi, is that the Orioles don't think Basayo is a 120 game catcher. That they think he's a bat who can catch, and they like the idea of him splitting time with another catcher. When you watch him, I mean, obviously he can throw. Like, there's no debate about his ability to throw, and I think that pitchers, we heard Trevor Rogers talking about him on Saturday night. You referenced Trevor. That was the best that Trevor's looked all year Saturday night in L.A., and afterwards he said, I kind of hope Basayo catches me moving forward. So maybe I'm selling him short. Maybe he really is.
Yeah, I think you are. You don't sign a guy to an 8-year deal that's 21 to be a part-time catcher or platoon. I just don't. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he grows into that position. He's not there yet, but I mean, you have another kid playing second base who plays every day. You know what I mean? Like, you got a bunch of young guys out there. Like, let them eat. Let them prove themselves. And back to my point about Blaze, I think he needs to be playing every game.
I hear you. I hear you on that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, like, I just feel like, look, I know that there's a lot of new things happening. From the manager to the way they deploy their strategy. Analytics was a discussion. Like, I get it. I understand. I'm simply looking at how do we address potential holes that can be solved with the assets that we have. And maybe when it's all said and done, look, injuries have been an issue. Obviously, defensive performance had been an issue earlier in the season. A lot of that's improved. And maybe we're yet to see the best of this team, because in stretches we've seen how good they could be. Right now, I think Pete Alonso's the only one with an OPS over 800. Oh, actually, I take that back. Blaze also has an OPS over 800. But at one point, it was only Basayo and Rutschman that had OPSs over 800. So I don't think power is their issue. I think their issue is timely hitting and timely pitching, which, like, yeah, spoiler alert, right? Like, I just said something that was crazy, right? Like, I mean, I know
it's good to have those two things. Yes, I've heard.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, but like, I think games are won on the margins, right? It's the throws from it's hitting the cutoff man, right? It's turning the double play when you can. It's moving runners from second to third when you can. It's a fly ball into the outfield with the runner on third and one out. Like, those are the things. Like, it's the small ball conditional hitting and playing defense stuff, not adding extra runners on base or putting extra runners in scoring position. Like, it's all those things. And we see the volatility around the way they do stuff
Even in a really good win last night, they still managed to run themselves into a double play on the base paths. Like, even in a game when they won 6-1, there was that head scratching, what the hell just happened here when Gunnar tried to stay in a rundown for Kobe Mayo, and they both ended up being out. And that stuff has happened a little too frequently this year.
I agree. It's been there's been some blunders, but they're fun to watch, man. They're really fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Femi,
like I told you,
what's driven the conversation for me is even if they're turning things around, and I acknowledge, I think that the parts were always better than the whole when they were at their worst this season, that they should have been better than their record indicated. But you are what, we talk about this all the time. We can say that you are what your record says you are. That's the reality. So I do think that they had the ability to play better baseball than that. But I've always believed that they were going to be short of being a World Series contender. As good as Bradish has looked his last couple of starts, he still has an innings thing that you got to deal with as the season goes on because he's only pitched 30 in each of the last 2 years. I still think that it requires you to have dudes, like legitimate horses at the top of your rotation to have the chance to break through and win a World Series. I don't see that from this group.
I'm not. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good, dude.
I can't even think about that right now. Like if you strategize and perform your way into that, then great. I'm never going to say that you can't do something, but I'm not even thinking about a World Series right now. I'm sure like there's a strategy and a plan for that 3-4 years out from now. Obviously, you can catch lightning in a bottle and whatever happens, happens. But like realistically, I just want to see them be a wild card team and get into the playoffs and learn something from that experience and then build on that.
I get it.
I mean, like but I'm not saying like what I don't know who it was, but I was listening to someone talk about the U.S. men's national soccer team, right? And they look really good. I'm not going to put a cap on them and say they can't win the whole damn thing. Why not them?
Sure.
I mean, they look pretty damn good.
Just go do it.
They're moving the ball around.
Yeah,
they look great. And it's the World Cup. Weird things happen. I mean, wasn't Japan just in the final?
Morocco, obviously, 4 years ago.
So and you're playing on home turf. Like, I think that matters. And so when I look at the O's and I look at any professional team, I'm not going to say like unequivocally that they can't do something. Like that's silliness. But what I want to see is a progression. And what I want to see them is finish with above a 500 record and become a wild card team. And obviously the wild card race is wide open. You know what I mean? Especially in the American League.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of where I'm at.
Femi, it's only relevant to me in the context of the Rutschman conversation, right? Which is if you're serious about this, if the plan is, by the way, we intend to go get a starting pitch or Joe Ryan type at the deadline this year that's going to be here this year and next year. If the plan is we're going to come hell or high water, go get those dudes. We're going to go get the pitchers going to make up the difference. Then I would say hang on to Adley Rutschman even if he ultimately expires and you get nothing for him. Like, hang on to that piece and try to win a World Series with him this year or next year. Like, go do that. I am in favor of maximizing the assets you have and saying, let's win a World Series. Let's do everything in our power. So part of the conversation to me regarding Adley Rutschman is, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to go do what it takes to get that type of starting pitching by next year, right? Because obviously Rutschman's a free agent after 2027. If you're willing to do that, then I'll live with you didn't maximize your asset in the trade if you're maximizing it in giving yourself the absolute best chance you can to go win a championship.
I think the question is the probability of winning a championship with this team as constructed in the next 2 years versus winning a World Series in 3 or 4 years and using that asset
to gain more,
to make you better. Yeah, exactly. So let's be honest, like we're just talking probability here.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you force me to choose one, I know which one I'm willing to choose today.
Right. I get it. I completely get it.
I think you know too. You probably
but it's complicated, right? Because then Gunner's a free agent the year after that. Like, you start having
Gunner. They're not letting Gunner walk.
Whew, man, it's going to cost him an awful lot of money. We've never seen. I know, but we've just never seen him pay that much.
Look, if you're going to let Gunner walk and then you're going to keep Adley, and like, I don't know, dude. Like, what are we doing?
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, man. I hear
There's too many moving parts to make that I can't create a concise narrative around that yet because I'm not there yet. I didn't plan on having that discussion today. You know what I mean? And I don't want to get out front of my skis.
Write out
Yeah,
every
yeah. I got to be
it,
careful with that.
I
But
get it,
what I will say is this: I really enjoy watching them play. I know it's painful sometimes because you see things like it's almost like, oh, they got this done. They're going to win this game, and they don't. You know, and then you're like, they're down by 4 in the last inning, and they win. It's you know what I mean? Like it's a roller coaster. But I see the talent. I see the youthfulness. I see the ceiling, but I also see the floor. So yeah, I'm my hope is that they can find a way to get above 500 and become a wild card team. Like if they do that, man, I'd be really excited.
I dig that. Femi Ayanbadejo is with us. I do want to talk some Ravens with you.
Yeah.
Because one conversation that I've been having a lot, and I don't feel like has been, I'm sure you guys have talked about it, you and Bruce. I'm fascinated by it. If I have this conversation, I'm not saying that I don't think Jacoby Lane, I know you're high on Lane and Surratt, and I think they're both nice players.
Yep.
I still am inclined to say there are some real impact free agent receivers that are available. And it's not just Steph Diggs. I know he gets the bulk of the conversation because he's local and because he's probably
I'm a Debo fan, bro.
You're not the only one. And I would tell you, Femi, I believe that Keenan Allen is going to have a 1,000-yard season at the age of 55 somehow. Like, I think that Keenan Allen is just ageless and always helpful and does something that is a skill that I think can translate beyond age when you can make plays in the red zone the way that he can. So I'm interested in this. I am. Not because I'm down on the other guys, because I want this team to win a Super Bowl. And what happens right now, you've got 3 guys that are knowns in the pass-catching department. And even Rashad Bateman, we're saying is a known, but, you know, it's kind of a known with an asterisk, right? Like, you've got Zay, you've got Mark Andrews, you've got Rashad Bateman, and you have a lot of hope for the rest of this group. And I love Tez Walker. I think Tez Walker has earned an opportunity to get more snaps. But for a team that wants to win a Super Bowl, I would like – what happens if one of those guys gets hurt? I just feel like right now there's the talent that's available among the free agent receivers is too good for me to not be interested in swimming in those waters.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, you know, Eric's made it very clear that he doesn't want to, you know, soil the pot, so to speak, by not giving these young guys reps. That's the JV and the Clowney dilemma too, right? Like the reason why they haven't brought him in potentially is because they want to get Zion Young more reps. They want to get Mike Green more reps. You know what I mean? And so football, inevitably injuries happen. And I think when these injuries happen, then you'll see whether it's an off-ball backer, whether it's a receiver, or whether it's an outside backer with rush capability. I think that's when maybe some of these triggers are pulled. But maybe we get lucky and nobody gets hurt. I personally, it'd be nice to have a Jadeveon Clowney. It'd be nice to have a Keenan Allen. But I think this team as constructed is a Super Bowl contender right now, based on the head coach, based on the defensive coordinator, and based on the offensive coordinator. And just based on what I hear coming out of the castle and how excited these guys are. And just from my own analysis, we have 2 savant-like vanguard leaders in regard to how this defense and offense is going to run. We haven't had a defensive guy like this since Mike McDonald. And Jesse and Mike have a Venn diagram of overlap in philosophy and the way they do stuff. And remember what happened last time when we had that guy.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
2023.
Yeah, pretty
that
good.
Team won the Triple Crown. First team to ever do that. You know what I mean? I think it was turnover, sacks, and points per game, right? And then now you have Declan Doyle, in my opinion, who has been basically called the savant by everybody that's dealt with him. Yes, he hasn't called plays yet, but I think that he's been calling plays in his head ever since he's been on the offensive side of the ball as a coach. Now we get to see him do it. Will there be some growing pains? Possibly, potentially, but I feel really good about where this team is at. And any additions, I welcome them, but I'm not just like the center position. I've been saying I think the center.
You're confident it's on the team. You're confident they've got them.
I think it's going to be Gwynn or Pinter for sure. Like I've been thinking about this for a while. You know, I did a show with Ken and Tim, and they both looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, they almost made me buckle and change my mind because they were so confident that the center wasn't in the building. But I was like, nah, dude. You know what? And as time has gone on, I've become more confident that the starting center is in the building because those 2 guards that they brought in. And the offensive line coach, who's by many is believed to be the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Like I think people are severely underestimating the effect of these coaches and what they're going to be able to do for these players. We've been doing things one way for a long time with John, and John is going to probably be in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But as Ravens, we've always said, you know what we're going to do, and we dare you to stop us. You know, when we got into 22 personnel and we got into 13 personnel, we ran the ball 84% of the time. Everybody knew the run was coming. And we still were the number one rushing team in the NFL for years. Even with that that's gone now. That's gone. On defense, we're not going to be dropping guys into coverage to cover grass. Like, there are going to be zone man principles plastered to the closest person in your vicinity. You do not just cover an area because you're supposed to. I just think the coaching, the energy, the youthfulness, the creativity, people are not ready for what's coming, in my opinion. That's how confident I am.
I dig all of that. What you said about the injury, the only thing that I worry about is that, like, if you do deal with an injury, you deal with it after other teams have dealt with injuries, and now the pot that you're trying to pick out of, it's not Debo and Stephon Diggs and Keenan Allen. It's a next group of guys that aren't really going to be helpful, right? Like, I know what you're saying, and I think very highly of. I think Tez is ready. I think he is.
I think so too.
I think that he can have a significant role for this team moving forward.
Glenn, the cost-benefit analysis of bringing in a guy that's going to take reps from the guys that need him,
I get it.
And taking those reps means that they're underdeveloped. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're robbing Peter to pay
Paul.
And
it's the risk that you don't have a roster spot for all of them too, obviously, right? Like, that at some point you have to expose one of them, because do you have a roster spot for all 6 of these guys if you end up signing and none of them get hurt?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. I just feel like, and I actually like psychologically and emotionally, like the way that, like, the Colin Cowherds and the Mike Florios of the world, the way that they color this team and the things that they say, clearly they're not on the ground level here. So they don't really know what's going on. Yeah. They're just taking talking points from people that are saying things that have their negative spin because that's just who they are, you know, curmudgeons, you know, get off my lawn types that aren't paying attention to what's really going on here. I pay attention to detail. You know, I interact with these guys. Some special's happening. And I don't know if we'll see the fruits of it this year or next year. I don't know when, but I think this team is on their way to winning minimum 12 games.
Oh, damn. Minimum. I love that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Let me finish with this, because we had a lot of emotional kicker conversations when we were doing shows together.
Yeah.
Where is your confidence level in Tyler Loop? Because I got kind of called out for being like a hater, and I was never a hater. I don't know if this guy's good or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You didn't have trust. He didn't earn your trust. Yeah, I get it. He didn't earn my trust either. And I always said that, you know, one of the biggest disservices that was done to Tyler Loop is he never kicked the high pressure kick in the game that mattered until it mattered.
Yes.
Until the one. Pittsburgh.
Right. Yeah.
But can anyone say, and honestly, that they thought he was going to make that kick? I didn't think he was going to make that kick before he kicked it. I just had, like, with Tuck, even though Tuck had his ups and downs toward the end of his time, I still believed he was going to make every kick.
Yeah, if a kick mattered.
He wasn't worthy.
You're right.
Like, even if he wasn't worthy of that, like, confidence, I still had it in him because he'd done it for so long.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But this is the thing. This is the thing about Tyler, though. He's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things. I believe that the kid is super talented. I think he is going to become what we need him to become.
Okay.
He just wasn't there yet, but I believe he will be that. His leg is really strong. I trust Randy to get him right. You know what I mean? You know, I don't think it's an accident that he's here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I trust them when it comes to the background and legwork of understanding players. Like, guys don't end up in Baltimore accidentally. They end up here for a reason. You know what I mean? So although we haven't seen the return on investment in Tyler yet, in some way, maybe we lost the battle against Pittsburgh, but we could end up winning the war.
All right.
I'll listen. You know what I'm saying?
I'll listen on that. I wouldn't have minded more competition. I wouldn't have minded just to push him. Just push him. Go make him win. Mind it,
but it would be a veneer, though. It would be a facade.
Yeah, that you want. Yeah, he's gonna win.
You could bring somebody in just to have somebody, so you can get a better. Like, maybe more about just bringing somebody. Like, there's this kid in the UFL.
McCrane.
Is it? I can't, dude. I just saw a game where this dude kicked like 60-yard field goals. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, bring him in.
Actually, I think that was. How did they not get you on the Louisville staff? By the way, it was like all of your boys, man.
Me and Red were roommates, obviously, when we played on the Ravens. But, you know, I didn't even know he was doing it. And then he and I had a conversation like halfway through the season. And then I was like, dude, the staff is like all
it's
our
insane,
teammates.
man.
Like, yeah. No, so I mean, nothing. I don't think Red probably doesn't have any idea like what I'm into and what I'm doing. And honestly, even if he offered it to me, I probably couldn't have done it anyway. So.
Oh man, it was a cool story though. It was really cool to see
sure.
all those guys together.
I'm gonna talk to him. I already talked to him about coming on the Bruce and Femi show on a Saturday on the Fan. So he's already committed to do that. We haven't picked a date yet. Me and Bruce were out last week. I'm traveling back to California for a friend's birthday, and I'm participating in a former NFL player study at UC San Francisco, which I think is really important. Yeah, so I'm doing that. So I'll be gone. But yeah, and plus we're in that summertime where if you got things to do, now's the time to get
vacation,
it done.
The whole deal, dude. I'm going to Africa for 2 weeks. I'm going to Tanzania on safari for 2 weeks in July, man. It is really cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, every Saturday, Bruce Cunningham,
Saturday, noon to 3. Yep.
Femi Ayanbadejo with you over on 105.7 The Fan. Anything else I can plug for you, man?
Yeah, dude. Hey, I've been really trying to build my my X following, and it's really taken off. So anybody that's willing to jump in, I'm always posting statistical stuff. Obviously, I'm giving my opinions. I fight the haters. I don't care. Like, I don't care who I am or who they are. Like, if they're disrespectful or say dumb stuff, yeah, I come after them. Yep, I do.
You know what? You know what I saw on your social? I did not know that your daughter had done a thing with the Ravens. Out at was that the rookie premiere that she was?
Yeah, it was out in LA with Fanatics. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Fanatics. Yeah, she's been modeling since she was 15. Her career's really taken off. She's been doing some influencer stuff. Yeah, dude, she's really doing well.
Cool, man.
Yeah, so somehow somebody from the Ravens had known about her career in modeling and influence stuff that she's been doing. She lives in LA, and this event was with Elijah and Jacoby. I think it was at USC, and Fanatics hosted it. So yeah, she was out there wearing she didn't have my jersey because I'm not there. She got my brother lives in LA. Yep. She got my brother's jersey and was out there playing catch and throwing the ball around with Jacoby awesome, and Elijah. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Femi, love you, brother. Always appreciate you.
Love you too, man.
Let's talk soon.
What's up, Griff? What's up, Griff?
What's up, Femi? Right? Good to hear you. Good to hear you.
Wait, hang on a second. This is where what would Femi always grill you about? Like, we'd always get to, oh my God, I've forgotten. Femi always wanted Griffin to be involved with the shows. He would always get frustrated that Griffin wouldn't talk. Like, he would always want to get him involved somehow, some way. Oh, give me your top 5. Let's do that. Let's wrap with that. Going into the season, give me your top 5. Your top 5, your power 5 going into the year.
Okay. So, man, I wish you would have told me I was going to do this.
I know. I'm sprung it on you. I still have the Rams. I still have the Rams 1. Yeah. I mean, the Rams have to be 1.
I want to start at 5 and then work my way down. All right. I'm going to put the Ravens at 5, even though I would probably prefer to put them higher. But I think 5 is a solid number for them. So I'll go Ravens at 5. Mm-hmm. I'll go. Who would I put at 4? I'm going to go. Man, because when I think about 4 and then I say, are they better than the Ravens?
It's tough, right? It's tough. It's tough.
I'm putting them at 5 just because it's just what I do. I should put them at 10 maybe just because I like it that way. But
yeah, right. I know. Femi does like the idea of nobody believes in us. Nobody. Everybody hate us. Everybody. Yeah, 100%.
I love that. Yeah. So at 4, I'll put Seattle.
Okay.
At 3, I will go with who will I put at 3? Dang, who would I put at 3? I'm trying to think. If I think NFC. So I said Ravens at 5. Mm-hmm. Who did I have 4?
You had Seattle.
I had Seattle at 4. Okay, I'll go Buffalo 3.
Okay.
I'll go Niners 2, and I'll go Rams 1.
Wow, Niners 2. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
All right. I'm doing okay, I'll go the other way. I'm not that far off. The team that I am somewhat bullish about, I really like adding Jalen Waddle. I like the Broncos, man. I think.
Yeah, I'm not a believer.
I think if he doesn't get hurt, they win the AFC Championship game.
I agree with that.
I don't know.
I actually thought about putting Houston at 5, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, I think their defense. I think they have the best defense in the NFL right now.
I was just so alarmed by what I saw from CJ Stroud.
Yeah, CJ. That's the only reason why I didn't, because CJ. And he'll be better, and I know he'll be better. But they're top 10 for me.
Okay, I'm doing Broncos 5, Ravens 4, Bills 3, Seahawks 2, Rams 1 for me.
Okay, yeah.
Would be my
So I had the
5.
Niners and you had Denver.
Yeah.
And maybe the Niners should be a little bit further back, but let's just assume that that's my 5, but maybe the order. Yeah, let's do that. That's my 5, but maybe the order's not right. But those are my 5.
Time.
You know
we got time.
Yeah, I think the Niners are going to have a bounce back season. I really like Brock Purdy a lot.
I get
got Mike Williams. Yeah, I love
the Ayuk
CMC.
thing. The Ayuk thing is such a mess, man. Like what a mess.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he hasn't even been there. It's almost like he's already been gone. So I don't.
That's fair. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even factor into the conversation.
Yeah, they have one of the best tight ends in the league. They have one of the best running backs in the league. They have an underrated quarterback. They've got the best middle linebacker in the NFL, in my opinion. And Roquan's going to have a heck of a year, by the way. He's going to bounce back. Roquan.
He looks good, doesn't he? Doesn't he look good?
And Mark. Roquan and Mark.
If you guys haven't seen it, Roquan looks slim. Like he looks like he's put in a lot of work this offseason to have a bounce back year.
Hey, are you maybe I shouldn't even ask you right now.
Okay.
Let me just text you because I don't want to. Let me ask you offline. I'll ask you offline.
All right. I love you, pal.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble.
Oh, dude, you know how things work. I'll talk to you. Appreciate you always. Thank you for coming on, man.
All right, bro.
See you, buddy. Femi